Hola, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to the Flight Sim world. And this is Viperstrike 95 Flight Sim, and today we're back here at Rio de Janeiro Galileo International, our second Firefly Air Hub in South America. It's great to see you guys here, and today we got a pretty exciting flight as we're going to be flying around the southeast coast of Brazil today. We'll be visiting the cities of Sao Paulo and Curitiba today as we prepare for next Friday's trip over to Iguazu Falls, which should be an amazing trip. Can't wait for it. So, guys, I hope you're having a great weekend. I hope that's treating you guys well, and we prepare for this incredible stream. So, yeah. Before we get started, I hope you guys have a great weekend. My weekend's going pretty well for me. I've been currently working ahead of the notes, so I'm working on getting the rest of the notes complete before my vacation on the 21st of April. So it'll be in 2 weeks, I'll be on vacation. So, I mean, imagine 2 weeks from now, I'll be heading to Seattle, which is pretty crazy thinking about. So before we get started, I want to say hello to everyone in the chat. We have Super Typhon, my trusty moderator. Super Typhon, good to see you, my dude. And I want to say hello to everyone in the chat who are lurkers. Good to see you guys too. So the flight plan for today is going to be no, not my slideshow. I'm not being revealing that just yet. This flight plan is going to start us from Rio de Janeiro Galileo. We're gonna go 6,500 feet today. So we're gonna so for this um so so the flight plan would be this. So like we'll go from here. We head to Brazil's iconic sporting venue, the Maracanã. Then from there, we'll head all the way to Sugarloaf Mountain. We'll take a little bit of a circle around Sugarloaf. Once we hit the Sugarloaf Mountain, we're going to visit the famous Copacabana Beach, one of the great beaches of this part of Brazil. And then, of course, we'll then head to Cristo Redentor, Christ the Redeemer. We'll pay a visit to him. Once we visit that, we're going to head to the west. We'll be flying over, we'll be checking out the National Park, Park Nacional de Serra de Bocana. We'll be checking around this national park and be flying through all this area. And then we'll make our way over to Sao Paulo. We'll fly over downtown Sao Paulo and make our landing at the historic Congonhas International Airport, which I visited on stream before, but it's a really cool international airport. Then from there, guys, we'll head our way southwest. We'll make our way through more forest and hit mountains and make our way over to Curitiba for our second and final stop of the stream and land at Alfonso Pena International. So, yeah, should be a really nice flight plan. So this should be a very nice plan for you guys. So the plane we're taking here today, we are taking the King Air today. I haven't took this plane at all during the stream, but I decided I wanted to take something slower. So, and plus I want to see Christ the Redeemer and all those Rio landmarks, but still get here pretty quickly. But for you guys that don't know about the King Air 350, the King Air 350 comes from the family of planes known as the Beechcraft Super King Air family of planes. First introduced in 1972. Over 3,700 have been built as of the end of 2015, though there might be over 4,000 of them built. And they serve a wide variety of purposes, including aerial survey, air ambulance, flight inspection, and surveillance. In fact, this plane was so successful that's even outlasted even its intended replacement. It's even outlasted its replacement, which is pretty insane. But it's a very cool turboprop. In terms of specifications, the 350i in the sim is about 46 feet long, 57-foot wingspan, powered by two Pratt & Whitney PT6 turboprops to produce 1,000 horsepower each. It can cruise max cruise at the 312 knots, and has the impressive range of 1,800 nautical miles with a ceiling of 35,000 feet. The King Air is a fantastic business plane. And I really do enjoy flying the King Air. It's definitely very, very nice to fly. And of course, this livery here is done by none other than Cyrus T. He worked on this amazing looking livery. This is one of the most stunning liveries that this King Air is amazing looking. She's an absolute treat to the eyes for sure. So before we get started, let's go ahead and get her this plane started. Go over the checklist. Okay. So yeah, this King Air here is going to be pretty easy to start. So let's go ahead and get her started. Go ahead and prepare to take off. Oh, I see. Restoring 226 is here as well. He's actually about to descend here. So Restore 226 is here. I see him. Apparently he's still in the middle of doing that achievements. Let's go ahead and prepare to take off then. Full power. Yeah, he's about to come in from Joinville. Hey, good to see you, Makazi. Runway 33, nice. And we're off. Okay. Go ahead and there's Monster. There's Super Tom. Good to see you in the DA42. There's Restoring 226. He's made his way here. So after we get through our car and stuff, we're gonna climb up to 6,000 feet. 5,500 feet is the max. We're gonna go 5,500 feet. But it's a beautiful day in Rio de Janeiro. So lower I'm gonna lower the top speed. Like I said, we don't need to go fast for this first part. I'm going to try and keep this speed around 200, 220 knots. I don't want to get through here too quickly. So here's downtown Rio de Janeiro, guys. So here's downtown Rio. Here's Sugarloaf Mountain. There is the Maracana. There's that big football stand, the Maracana. There's that stadium down here. Now, this airport here, if you look to your left, there is Santos Dumont Airport. This is the smaller domestic airport. If you guys ever try landing there, let me tell you something. That is not a place you definitely want to land in a normal GA airport. And there is the Christ the Redeemer. There's Christ the Redeemer statue. So there is Sugarloaf Mountain to our left. There is Sugarloaf Mountain. This is Sugarloaf, guys. And there's Copacabana. There's the famous beach. I mean, the scenery here is just gorgeous down here in Rio. Just incredible to see. The scenery in this area is just like the scenery in this part of Brazil is some of my favorite. that was still really cool. I got some great snapshots. I got some excellent screenshots. Got some amazing screenshots of Christopher. What a fantastic flight here so far. What a great start of the flight. I mean, got to visit Rio de Janeiro, downtown, got to see Christ the Redeemer, and Sugarloaf Mountain. So we got to check out Rio de Janeiro's greatest hits. But yeah, I did a whole GA stream in this, doing the route between Rio and Sao Paulo. So if you guys aren't aware about the route from Rio de Janeiro to Sao Paulo, it's actually it's actually an air shuttle. Um, it's actually one of the most well-known air shuttles in the world, and that is the Sao Paulo Rio de Janeiro air shuttle. It's among the world's busiest air passenger routes. It's among the world's busiest air passenger routes in the world. In fact, um, it's a very busy passenger route. It's not those are passenger routes more busy than it's an air shuttle service, and that's historically been a very popular air shuttle service. So, but yeah, guys, I want to ask you all in chat. I hope you guys have had a great weekend so far. Hope you all had a great weekend. Enjoying yourselves on this weekend in the sim. I know yesterday was pretty Friday was crazy. Murph tried to pretend that he was some amazing pilot and try to land the 146 into some bush strips. I'm surprised he actually got out of there alive. Personally, I thought he would have probably crashed and burned. He lived to tell the tale. So there is that too. Outside of that, though, my weekend's been pretty normal. I've been working ahead on the notes, trying to continue working ahead on the notes and stuff, so I can keep getting those done for you guys. But yes, I think I got a schedule for next week's plan. So I got the schedule planned out for next week. Since I got the 146 update, I'll be doing the Alaska stream that I promised. So I'm going to be doing the Juneau, Ketchikan, Sitka flights in the 146. That will be on Wednesday. Next Friday will be our trip to the Iguazu Falls. We'll be checking out Iguazu Falls and learn all about it. I will be showing the scenery off the freeware scenery for the Iguazu Falls. I'll post it to you guys so you guys can have it. And of course, on Sunday, we'll be touring the country of Paraguay. We'll get to learn everything about Paraguay on next Sunday's stream. We'll learn everything about Paraguay. So I think that should be a really fun stream. I think you guys should be pretty excited for this set of streams. Very, very exciting for sure. Yeah, I'm looking really forward to checking out Paraguay. Because after Paraguay, the next country we'll be checking out is the only around the world trip that would be for the rest of the month after next Sunday will be toward Uruguay. We'll be learning about Uruguay as well. But yeah, looking really forward to those streams as well. Definitely very, very exciting for sure. For the next couple streams, I mean, the streaming stuff is going to be very, very exciting. Let's take a look outside. So let's see who's flying with us. We have Super Tom with us. He's with us as well. Just stunning. Look. This is just stunning, guys. Oh my gosh. I mean, the scenery is just stunning. I've done this route before, by the way, guys. That's why I picked a GA plane for this route. Just stunning. Right. I mean, this sim, I mean, is just unbelievable. Just incredible. Oh, it's Mikaze. Oh, it's Mikaze with this. Nice. Sorry about that. I thought it was Super Tom. It was Mikaze. With this. My apologies. The scenery is just stunning. You could have not asked for better scenery than this. It's just pretty. So in terms of Microsoft news, for MSFS, there's a brand new scenery from Orbex and Pyramid 8 Studios. This is City Seaplane Base, which is pretty exciting. It has a rich aviation history, and you get to do some seaplane flying. Over 1,500 custom objects, 100 custom buildings, for the price of 15 Australian dollars, which should be that would be pretty interesting because City Seaplanes is a very big attraction here in Sydney. It's the largest seaplane-based operator in Australia, founded in 2006. And they often do lots of different stuff. Obviously, they can do charter flights, but the one I would like to do it is a like a scenic flights, like one of the scenic tour flights. And I like to do these scenic Sydney Secrets flights. You get to fly over all Sydney and check out Sydney Harbor. But that would be really, really cool to check out. They also released details of the 777 cockpit, and it looks, well, like PMDG's quality. It's very high quality 777. I mean, I cannot wait for that 777. I can think of already a few places I can already take that 777. Rio, Pittsburgh definitely would be Pittsburgh to Dallas. There's a lot of places. Just this here. The southeast coast of Brazil is probably among the prettiest areas in all of Brazil, if not the prettiest. This area, just incredible. So we're going to continue on this direction for 73 nautical miles. So we're going to make our way down there. Now, in terms of sports news, we have the men's and women's the men's Final Four, has been set. And we only got one game left in the Final Four. Number one seed UConn versus Purdue. I mean, if UConn wins, this would be yet another national championship for UConn. This would not only be their second straight national championship, but it would also be the program's sixth national championship. They would have won 6 titles since 1999. Pretty insane. Um, which is pretty insane despite being a younger program. Yeah. However, if Purdue were to win the national championship, this would be the first time Purdue has ever won a national championship. The closest they got to winning the NCAA tournament would have been 1969, where they were runner-ups. But if they win the national championship, this would be their first ever NCAA national championship for college basketball, which is crazy because historically, Purdue was the most successful Big Ten basketball team in terms of regular season championship. So Purdue is the best Big Ten team to never win a championship. It'd be crazy if Purdue managed to win a championship. If you want to know what I'm cheering for, is Purdue. And that's coming from someone who lives in Indiana and graduated from an IU college, but I want Purdue to win it because I mean, it'd be really cool to see Purdue actually win a championship for once. So that would be really cool to see. Pretty crazy to think about it. Purdue's done it. In terms of other sports news, from MLB baseball, Major League Baseball, it's been like the first week of baseball so far this season, and the Yankees look like to be, in terms of the American League, the Rays are last. Sadly, 4-5 record was not a good start to the season. They did get a win last night, but man, the Rays. Uh, this was to be expected. I didn't think the Rays would have to catch up to their years, but I expected the Rays to start better than they did this season. But yeah, the Yankees look like to rule the East. They're leading both over the Red Sox and Orioles. In the American League Central, I mean, the Guardians and Tigers are starting off really well this year. I mean, the previous 2 worst teams in the American League Central, the Guardians and Tigers, are now in the top 2 of the division. It's hard to believe that the Tigers are already doing this well. I mean, 6-2 record start for the Tigers. Hey, I mean, that's a great start on for the year for the Tigers. And then the American League West, not surprised, the Rangers ruled the division, but the Angels at second. The Angels are second in the Angels are second. I was even without Shohei Ohtani, they're still second in the division over the first 8 games. I know it's still really early, but the fact they're 5-3, I mean, I would be very surprised. But I'm very surprised right now. So there you go. In the National League, the Marlins are absolutely terrible this season. 0-9 to start the season. Yikes. That's not good at all. The Braves are leading the NL East. I mean, what's new? The Braves are the best team in that division. But the NL Central, the Pirates are leading the division 7-2. Which is pretty crazy. Pittsburgh I mean, we have a hub in Pittsburgh, so the Pirates are doing well, which is very surprising. But then again, they're playing pretty well. And then, of course, National League West, the Dodgers are 8-3, which isn't a surprise with Shohei Ohtani. I'm not surprised. That covers a bit of baseball. In terms of notes, I do want to cover for today. I guess there is only one bit of notes left. Let me go ahead and cover, and that talks about Brazil's fun facts. I want to cover briefly about that because we have one final set of notes, but that's going to be saved for next Friday, which is about Iguazu Falls. We'll be saving it for that stream. Here's some Brazil fun facts for the chat, for all you guys looking at. So here's some fun facts about the country of Brazil, which is South America's largest and most populous country. It's the world's largest coffee producer. Brazil produces a third of the world's coffee and plays a big role of its economy. In Brazil, prisoners can read up to 12 books a day to lessen their punishment by up to 48 days per year, just by reading. And then finally, the most well-known last name in Brazil is Silva. About 20.8 million Brazilian in Portuguese have the last name of Silva. So, pretty simple facts about Brazil to cover. But yeah, I want to ask you guys. I hope you guys are enjoying your all's weekend. So, um, well, I hope you guys had a great weekend as always. So, what are you guys probably most excited for the upcoming week? For me, of course, the thing I'm most excited though is the thing I'm excited for is definitely for more flights and stuff. I can't wait. Like we're not very far off. The VA is not far off the 500,000 XP need to complete the next set of challenges for the airline. So that's kind of what I'm most excited for this week's streams and stuff. Yeah, I can't wait for it. It'd be very, very exciting for content. But yeah, we're not far off of Sao Paulo. After we make the next waypoint, we're going to take a 68 nautical mile trip over to downtown Sao Paulo. We'll be talking all about it. Oh, nice! You got the PC-21 today, so that's fun. Looking forward. Oh, that's definitely a pretty cool plane. The PC-21, definitely a very cool plane for sure. Oh, that should definitely sound like fun. The PC-21. I was supposed to get it one time, Makazi, during an event, but I never did get a chance. But I never got the chance to grab it, so yeah, it should be a lot of fun though. For sure. So in terms of other stuff, as well for Flight Sim, there is a bit more news for. Oh yeah, yeah. There's too many. I'm just saving my money for the 777 for that's coming out. So the Just Flight Tomahawk is about to reach its final stretch. It's about almost ready to release. Is the Tomahawk, which is their new Piper. And I gotta say, this looks really good. And the Piper Tomahawk, a very popular training aircraft. Uses a very popular pilots and training aircraft. So should be a fun plane to see in the sim. See another Just Flight GA plane. Also, in terms of other news for Firefly Air, are we have a stats console. So according to the virtual airline, we're just about under 500,000 XP left to go for um. So we're under 500,000 XP left to go for about 2.5. So hopefully, if I keep work, hopefully I'm going to do plenty of due schedules over the next week or so. Hopefully, I get low enough. We can get the XP goal and get the hub pretty quickly. Right? That's what I'm hoping. Before I get vacation, I get enough XP to help open a brand new hub. So that's what I'm hoping to get done. So that's definitely very exciting news. We are getting very, very close to the XP goal. So we're about to now head our way over to Sao Paulo. Um, so we're about to reach our way over to Sao Paulo in Brazil. This city is definitely a very cool one. So we're going to talk about the city of Sao Paulo today. Go ahead and oops. Ah, oh yeah, Okay, Sao Paulo, Brazil. Sao Paulo is actually Portuguese for St. Paul. It is the most populous city in Brazil and the capital of its own state. And it's the most populous city in the world outside of Asia and the world's 20th largest city proper by population at, get this, 12.4 million people in its urban population. 12.4 million people, which is insane. Its population density is 8,000 per square kilometer, and its metropolitan area is at an eye-watering 22 million people live in Sao Paulo. To put that in perspective, um, Sao Paulo's urban population, in terms of urban population, Sao Paulo is actually ranked the eighth biggest urban area, um, urban population in the world, ahead of cities like Seoul, Mexico City, Calcutta, and New York. It is absolutely huge, which is just insane. Um, of course, in terms of cities, it's actually above a couple. It's a couple above like cities like Dhaka, Jakarta, Cairo, and Seoul. In terms of city proper population, it's above some of the Chinese cities, but it's still below Wuhan, Mumbai, and Lahore, and Moscow. But it's still a huge city. But Sao Paulo is rich in terms of it's also the largest Portuguese-speaking city in the world, and strong international influences in commerce, finance, art, and entertainment. It has the largest economy by GDP in Latin America, and it's home to the Sao Paulo Stock Exchange, and the 23rd largest GDP in the world, and it accounts for 10% of Brazil's GDP. It also is home to some of the tallest skyscrapers in Brazil, including the Mirante do Val, Edifício Italia, Banespa, and many others. It's also got cultural, economic, and political influence internationally, home to monuments such as the Latin American Memorial, the Ibirapuera Park, the Museum of Ipiranga, and more. It's also got it's also home to the Brazilian Grand Prix, the Brazil Game Show, and the LGBT Pride Parade, the second largest one of those in the world behind New York. It's a cosmopolitan melting pot city, home to the largest Arab, Italian, and Japanese diasporas, including ethnic neighborhoods And in 2016, inhabitants of the cities were native to over 200 different countries. So, and it's currently hosted games of the 1950 and 2014 FIFA World Cup as well. But yeah, Sao Paulo, a huge, huge city. Like hey, good to see you, Super Target. Yeah, Helicopter Central, no joke. Sao Paulo is absolutely massive. It's absolutely a massive city. But what really grew Sao Paulo was during However, originally Sao Paulo wasn't always that way. Um, it was actually a poor and isolated village due crops. However, what really grew Sao Paulo was during the was during was when the Bandeirantes searched this area for gold, diamonds, and stones. They helped grew a lot of the population then. And as a result, Sao Paulo became a center of the Bandeirantes activities. Well, and when there was gold and sugarcane and all that, it grew even more, and it grew even more with coffee plantations and stuff. And Sao Paulo grew to become a huge city. It's an absolutely huge city. There's also several parks in the city, um, including the UNESCO World Heritage Site Juranga State Park, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. But of course, one of the big things about Sao Paulo is some of the events in the city. One of the big things that happen here in Sao Paulo is several events, and it's a very popular city for tourism. Its nightlife is some of the best in the country, with diverse bars, dance bars, and nightclubs, cinemas, theaters, museums, and more. There's also the March for Jesus, which is a Christian gathering for Christians all across Brazil. And and that's why Sao Paulo is a great tourist attraction for restaurants and tons of great restaurants, and it's a huge city. Yeah, it's a massive city. You see skyscrapers pretty much everywhere. Basically, Brazil's New York City. It's just massive, massive. But like I said, Sao Paulo, very rich, tons of places to visit, and more. In terms of landmarks, there are definitely some really big landmarks to visit here in the city. Here's a list of some of these landmarks, of the many in Sao Paulo. For one is the Football Museum. Of course, you can't go to Brazil without knowing about football. Thankfully, there is a football museum located in Sao Paulo, which gives you insight and information of the game and how it occupies the minds of all Brazilians. And it's spread out over 6,000 square meters and 15 galleries of interactive exhibits. So, um, there is that as well. So very, very important here here in the country. It's located at the soccer stadium, the Paulo Machado de Carvalho. But it's a great way to for people to get to learn about Brazilian football, how football affected Brazil and all that. Think of this museum as similar to the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. Like they talk about the sports history, but in this case, the next is of course Ibirapuera National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This green space is filled with monuments, museums, playgrounds, gardens, trails, lakes, and performance spaces, making it the perfect leisure paradise for the people of this massive city, as well as a showcase of modern architecture and culture at Eberwera Park. And finally, the City Theater, a major center of performing arts in Central South America. The theater hosts performance by internationally renowned singers, dancers, musicians, and performing artists. But that's just some of the many landmarks in Brazil's largest city. Because it's heading out, thank you so much, my dude, for joining alongside us today. We're currently, thank you so much, my dude. I hope to see you again soon. And take care, my friend. But yeah, Sao Paulo. Should be a really, really cool experience for sure. Yeah, so far we're doing really, really well. We'll fly into Sao Paulo. We'll check out this downtown area. We might get to check out a few we get to check out Ibirapuera Park before making our way over to Congonhas Airport. So let's go ahead and deal with the last slide of the first leg. And this is Congonhas Airport here in Sao Paulo. But this airport, this is a historic Sao Paulo airport, opened back in April 12th, 1936. It's named after the neighborhood of Vila Congonhas, who was actually the property of the descendants of the first president of Sao Paulo. This airport is pretty unique, as it is one of 5 Brazilian airports with slot restrictions, with a maximum of 30 operations per hour, and in 2019 it was the second busiest airport in Brazil after the much larger Guarulhos Airport. So the 2 busiest airports in Brazil are both in Sao Paulo, by the way, but I chose Congonhas since, well, Guarulhos is definitely pretty cool to land. I wanted to do some flights to Congonhas since it is a company route. So I wanted to land there. But Congonhas Airport was built in the 1930s. It became one of the world's busiest air passenger routes to Rio de Janeiro, and it became also a very busy air cargo airport during the 30s. During the 50s, it served all international flights to and from Sao Paulo. However, it wasn't until the 1980s when Congonhas, thanks to Congonhas short runways, they had to build the newer Guarulhos airports. And since this airport has transitioned into a domestic airport for domestic flights. However, one major issue of this airport has always been the slippery runways, including most notably the TAM Airlines 3054 in 2007. So it's no longer an international airport; it's a domestic airport. But this currently has Brazilian destinations include Rio de Janeiro, Galileu de Monte. You have Curitiba, Florianopolis, Goiânia, Manaus, and much, much more. So, yeah, it's a busy airport, and the reason why this airport's always had issues, I mean, the longest runway, 17 right, 35 left, is only 6,300 feet. So that's going to make it very difficult for anything larger than a 737. Here we are, guys. Welcome to Sao Paulo. Yeah, and it's about as big as you think this thing is going to be. Because it is Sao Paulo. It's about as big as you guys were expecting it to be. Sao Paulo, absolutely huge. Hold on a bit. Here is the massive city of Sao Paulo. It is huge. It's a mega city, one of the world's largest cities, and definitely the largest one in the Americas, of course. Let's go ahead and look at all this. Look at all the skyscrapers here. That's insane. Just insane. Look at all this. Here's Ivatora Park right over here. See, this is Ivatora Park. And there is Kongahas. So we're going to go ahead. And we're going to circle around and land at runway 35 left. Actually, we can land 35 right since we're technically generally landing. What an absolute insane flight. Here we are, guys. Kongahas Airport. There is a payware for it from Paulo Ricardo that came out in 2023, I believe. But it is Kongahas Airport. Here we go, guys. Here we go. Well, there we are, guys. Our first stop, Sao Paulo's Kongahas Airport. Yeah, this city it's about as big as it is. I mean, well, that is a crazy first landing here at Kongahas Airport. I mean, what a great flight, guys. That was a great start to the flights. So yeah, that was a very, very nice flight, for sure. So we'll be here for just a little bit if you guys want to join on in. We're in the Southeast Asian server. We're flying the King Air today, so if you guys have the King Air or something comparable like a TBM or even a Piper M500, you can fly alongside us. We're about ready to head to our second stop here at Alfonso Pena International in Curitiba. So hope to see you guys in just a bit. So I'm gonna wait here for just a bit while you guys get ready to join in. Now we've got the time to get on in. We're gonna go ahead and get back to our King Air. We're gonna make our way over to Curitiba. This is our second and final leg of today's stream. This should be the second and final leg of the stream. Here we go, guys. We're still going to be at 5,500 feet for this this leg. Yeah, this has been a really fun flight so far. Got some beautiful scenery here. The natural scenery is great, and got to see Sao Paulo. How huge this. But like I said, taking it in and out of Kangahas is not easy at all, especially when it's raining. And we're off. We're gonna go ahead and turn left, and we'll start heading our way down. So yeah, guys, we're about to reach our second and final leg to Curitiba. This should be a pretty fun leg. We're just gonna head down straight this area for 150 nautical miles. So yeah, guys, this should be a lot of fun. In terms of other stuff, the NBA season, is going through quite a bit of the tail end of the basketball season. So the Celtics are clearly the best team in the East. They might be the favorites to win the NBA championship this year. They've been absolutely dominant, especially at home. 34-3 record at home. And then my favorite NBA, two of my favorite teams in the NBA, the Magic and Pacers, are both playing for the playoffs. They're going to be in the postseason. In the West, the Nuggets, Timberwolves, and Thunder all clinch playoff spots in the West. It should be very exciting as well. Yeah, just a beautiful flight, for sure. Just stunning. The scenery here in Brazil is just stunning. Now we're gonna get into pretty interesting stuff about Brazil. There's actually a couple more fun facts about Brazil that I do want to talk about. Um, there are a lot more fun facts about Brazil that I think some people might actually want to know. And I think there's even more fun facts about Brazil. The first major facts about Brazil um, is Brazil's one of its major facts is the fact that Brazil was the only independent country in South America to send troops to World War II. But in fact, Brazil sent a lot of people for World War II. So that's definitely a pretty cool fact. There are more than 70 uncontacted tribes in Brazil that are indigenous without contact to the outside world. Here's a couple of other fun facts. There are some pretty famous Brazilians. Athletes include Ronaldo, Anderson Silva, Neymar, models like Adriana Lima and Camila Alves, actors like Rodrigo Santoro and Lazaro Ramos, and writers like Clarice Lispector and Jorge Amado. The name Brazil actually comes from a tree called Brazilwood. In fact, that tree became such an export good for them that, and there were so many of it, they gave the name Brazil thanks to the wood. You can in Brazil you can find a replica of the 14th century Japanese temple, Kinkaku-ji. They actually have a replica of that in Sao Paulo, and that's because Japan there is a lot of Japanese Brazilians in the country. In fact, pretty fun fact, Brazil is actually home to the largest Japanese population outside of Japan, at around 200, uh, which is over 2 million Japanese descent living in Brazil. It's pretty crazy to think about. Yeah, they have a lot of Japanese as well. But there's actually a lot of different event. In fact, um, a lot of inventions from Brazil and Brazilians by scientists. Jose Braz, a right big, developed the automatic transmission in cars using hydraulic fluid, developed automatic transmission. Um, they also did, Brazilians also made serum for snake bite to treat snake bites. Andreas Pavel invented the Walkman, which was the stereo belt, and the Walkman eventually ended up being which eventually led to things like the iPod and all that. The Walkman became very popular, and Brazilians even co-founded both Facebook and Instagram, were from Brazilian descent. But yeah, there's tons of Brazilian stuff. There's also 72 national parks in Brazil, which is the most of any country in the Americas. Yes, even more than the United States. I mean, the U.S. has already got a lot of national parks, but the most is actually Brazil. In terms of languages, Brazil actually has around 180 spoken languages, 180, and even though Portuguese is the official, the other language are actually spoken by the 160,000 indigenous people all over Brazil. Which is pretty crazy to think about as well. But basically, yeah, there's a lot of different interesting facts about Brazil that a lot of people don't know. But yeah, it's a very cool country, and I think more, and like I said, I think more people need to check out Brazil. It's got a lot to offer, especially in South America. Like it's, and I mean, it's a beautiful country. Tons, it's got incredible culture, rich history, tons of culture. There's just a lot to like about Brazil. Yeah, but it's an incredible country, and I think more people need to know about Brazil. So yeah, can't believe it though. We're about nearly halfway done with South America. Once we complete Brazil, we have Paraguay, Uruguay, Argentina, Chile, Bolivia, Peru, Ecuador, and Colombia left. We only have 8 South American countries left to go, guys. We already completed all the Caribbean countries, and we now completed and we'll soon get ready to complete South America. Before we have to do Central America, um, then we're gonna go to Mexico and go back up the western United States, fly over British Columbia, make our way through America's last frontier in Alaska, then make our way across to Japan. Should be some really nice stuff, and like I said, we're getting through this pretty nicely. pretty cool stuff to learn about Brazil. Just stunning. This entire area is just super pretty. For just 123 nautical miles left to go until we reach the end of the stream. Oh, and who's in the Jets? Or who's in the Hornet? Is that you, Super Tom? I believe that might be you in the Hornet. That has to be you in the Hornet. Or it might be someone else completely different. Oh, Alan! Alan123, good to see you. We're just making our way over to beautiful Curitiba today. We just passed Sao Paulo earlier. Just incredible flying here. Just stunning flying across. just dying around the coast. I mean, and speaking of the F-18, I will be bringing that out on. I'll be bringing that out when we get to Patagonia. Once we land at Ushala. After that, we'll be doing a Patagonia flight across a bunch of the national parks, a bunch of the areas, and we'll be flying through all of that area. It will be absolutely breathtaking. It would be one of my most anticipated stuff. I want to do something with the jets, so I'll get to do something with the jets then. So we're gonna be heading to the city of Curitiba pretty soon. We'll be once we get around the waypoint, I'll talk about the city a little bit. But it's a fascinating little city that I think you guys should probably learn a little bit about. This scenery is just incredible scenery. Just amazing. That's just, and this entire flight has just been stunning. So yeah, I'm very excited for what's going on for next week. I know next week, next Friday, we got a Dodger Falls. That will be our last flight in Brazil. As Igazé Falls was one of the places I definitely want to check out and visit. I'll get the scenery for it, but there is plenty to talk about the Igazé Falls. And that flight is going to be 294 nautical miles, so we'll be taking another general aviation plane, and we'll be flying through Igazú Falls. So should be a really nice flight. So should be another incredible flight. So yeah, that's going to be a couple of plans, and then after that, after next Friday, I got a GA flight. We got then a flight. From there, we'll be checking out Paraguay for a bit. We'll make our way briefly into Brazil, back into there, then go visit the city of Concepcion, and then finally to the capital city at Asuncion. That would be the last. So about Paraguay, and that would be the last stream until vacation. Got quite a lot of things preparing to go. So we're just 67 nautical miles out of our final stop. So we're going to be getting ready to go on to Curitiba. We'll get that complete, and then we'll go set up a raid. Just stunning. And this scenery. I'm gonna go ahead and prepare. I'm gonna go ahead and prepare for turn. Turn. So let's go ahead and talk about our final stop for today, guys. So for our final stop for today's stream, we're gonna visit Curitiba. 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 This is the capital and largest city in the state of Paraná. Paraná, in southern Brazil. Population 1.9 million people as of 2021, making it Brazil's 8th most populous city. It sits on a plateau 3,000 feet above sea level, located west of the seaport of Paranaguá. In the 19th century, its favorable location between Calabrian countryside and marketplaces led to the successful cattle trade. And then it grew even more thanks to logging and agricultural expansion in the Paraná state. In the 1850s, waves of European immigrants, mainly Italians, Germans, Poles, and Ukrainians. Nowadays, Middle Eastern immigrants arrived to the city. It also had innovative urban planning in the 1960s to allow it to grow from some hundreds of thousands to over 1 million people. And it's mainly based on industries and services, and it's the 4th largest economy in Brazil after Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, and I believe, if I'm right, Recife. It's got a high human development index, and despite its and it's actually got some low crime rates. Despite being a big city, it's actually got pretty low crime rates. Though it has a higher unemployment rate than other cities as well. So definitely a very interesting Brazilian city. Worth visiting for sure. So we're gonna go ahead and prepare for to visit the city. Some of the landmarks here in the city include the Botanical Garden, opened back in 1991 in the style of the French gardens. And may see French-style fountains, waterfalls, and lakes. In the main greenhouse, that's 450 square meters. And Tongua Park, which was built to protect nature and prevent it from turning into a waste recycling plant. It sits on 100 acres of land, and it contains 2 quarries and a majestic waterfall. And the main airport that serves the city, it is Alfonso Pena International. It's the main airport of the city, and it was opened back in 1946 on January 24th. It's 78 years ago. It was built with the partnership of the U.S. Army during World War II. So it was a civilian airport. Uh, the runway is around, there's 2 runways, 1533 at 7,200 feet and 1129 at 5,800 feet. Destinations include Buenos Aires, Belo Horizonte, Rio de Janeiro, Sao Paulo, um, Santiago de Chile, and Port Alegre as well as cargo flights to Frankfurt, Milan, Miami, and Luxembourg. And currently, as of 2022, over 4.8 million passengers went to this airport in 2022. So yeah, that is hey Quartz, good to see you, my dude. We're about to make our way to Curitiba, Brazil. In terms of airport busyness, Alfonso Pena is actually total number of passengers. It's actually Brazil's 12th busiest airport. Just enjoyed myself. Nice chill flight. We took off from Rio de Janeiro earlier, and we made our way over first to Sao Paulo, which is the largest city in the Americas. Um, Huge city. If you never got a chance to fly to Sao Paulo, Quartz, it's a huge South America city. And then from there, we're now heading to Curitiba. So, oh, I just got news from Firefly Air. It did a full-on ATC flight. Then Wednesday they're gonna do the flights and news, and on Friday they're gonna be doing the first part of the Bremen flight. So yeah, they're gonna finally get recreating the Bremen flight. Unfortunately, I won't be there for the next couple weeks because I have my vacation, so I can only make it to 2 of the 4 of Bremen flight legs. Sadly for me. So, here we are. This is Curitiba. The second to this is actually going to be the second to last stream in Brazil for this journey. But yeah, we went through quite the journey in Brazil. We did a G exploration of the Amazon. We made Brazil's capital, then to Rio de Janeiro, and then going through the route through Sao Paulo and Curitiba. And then we'll get ready for Gaza Falls. Like I said, oh, thank you for the coffee. I don't really drink coffee, but thank you, my dude. I don't normally drink coffee, but thank you, my dude. I gotta get me some of those beignets from New Orleans. Here's downtown. Or Atlanta 1-5. We're gonna go ahead and engage autopilot. And I think we see, here it is. There's our airport. There's our airport for today. So, we got good to see everyone here. And here we are, guys, our final. So this is going to be a very nice lane. Thank you for giving him a shout out, my dude. Thank you so much, Typhon, for giving Court the shout out. So, but yeah, this is going to be a pretty amazing stream. This has been an awesome. Go ahead and prepare for the landing here. Okay, a little rough. I want this plane to float. Yeah, a little rough, but a little firm. It was negative 318 something in landing rate monitor. And that's it, everyone. We have made it to our to Curitiba Airport, guys. So we did it, everyone. What a nice flight. Get to reach all the way through Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, and Sao Paulo. This was a great flight. Airwolf, good to see you. Hola, nice to see you. We just made it to the end of the stream, sadly. But welcome on in, Airwolf. I hope you're doing well, my dude. We're just at the end of the stream, but I mean, we had a great time. I'll get the VOD up soon, as soon as I get done. So thank you guys so much. We're gonna go ahead and prepare for the raid. I'm thinking we're gonna raid Angry One Horn today. I want to raid his channel. Here. So guys, we will be back. We're gonna be back in Juneau, Alaska on Wednesday in the updated Just Flight 146. I want to do some inside passage flying in Alaska. So take care, everyone, and have a great rest of your weekend.